How you doing? Bobby here with the Founders Gym. Hoping you guys are having a good Sunday. I'm having some man bun Sunday fun day over here. Today we're going to be talking about photographers and mobility. Something that a lot of photographers don't think about. They don't treat their bodies like an athlete, somebody that works out, somebody that sits at a desk. A lot of the problems that people sit at a desk have the same problems when they're shooting photography. So today we're going to be talking about certain problem areas that happen while you're shooting. 1 is going to be the neck. 2 is going to be the shoulder. 3 will be the back. 4 is your wrist when you guys are holding those cameras all day long. And then 5, the last one, is going to be your feet. Okay, you guys are on your feet all day long, and that does a lot of damage, way more than you think. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, and we're going to solve those problems. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about today are movements and exercises that you can do anywhere you want, no equipment needed. You could do it in your house, you could do it at a hotel, you could do it at your local club, raging it up, getting your stretches on. The location where you're going to be doing this is the shower. Wake up every single morning, go and take a shower. Sitting there, hot water's beating down on you, thinking about your life, what you're going to be doing, thinking about how you don't want to get out. While you're doing that, you can do this simple stretch that will loosen up those neck muscles. So you're going to take your middle finger and your ring finger. Take the side of my head, and I'm just going to pull to my right shoulder, just slightly, making sure that I feel that tension. Hold that for 10 or 15 seconds. After that, I'm going to loosen that up. I'm going to go to the opposite side. Going back and forth 3 to 5 times, depending on how tight you feel. If you feel really tight, you can do it more. If you don't feel that tight, do it 3 or 5 times. Just kind of get that neck loosened up. What that's going to do is loosen up these neck muscles and then that upper trap. So the second problem area that we're going to target today are the shoulders. No equipment necessary. All you're going to need is a pillar or the corner of a wall. Anywhere where you can get that arm into a 90-degree fixed position. So I'm going to go up to that pillar, get my arm into that 90-degree fixed position. Okay? I'm going to take my lead foot closest to that pillar. I'm going to rotate it up just slightly, making sure that my feet are at 45 degrees. What I'm going to do from there is I'm going to rotate to that opposite side. So if my right arm is on the pillar, I'm going to rotate to that left. What I'm going to do is I'm going to feel that stretch in that chest right along the shoulder. From there, you should start to feel an alleviation of tension in that shoulder. Hold that for about 10 to 15 seconds. After that, roll it around. You're going to do that 3 to 5 times each side. From there, you should feel like you have a little bit more range of motion in those shoulders. So we're going to go into the last 2 exercises today that require no equipment. First thing we're going to do is target that back. So I'm going to get onto my yoga mat. You can get onto your carpet. Making sure that my hands and shoulders are aligned, knees and hips are aligned. I'm going to go into a move called the cat-cow pose or the cat-cow stretch. If you do yoga, this is going to be right up your alley. So the first thing I'm going to go into is that cat pose, all right, where I'm going to drive my belly down to the floor, arching my back as much as I can, feeling that stretch all the way in my lower back. After that, I'm going to go into the cow pose, where I'm going into flexion, driving that upper back as high as I can, feeling that stretch in that upper back. You're going to feel that in your shoulders and your lats. You're going to do that 20 seconds each side, and you're going to do that 3 times total. The more you do this, you're going to start to feel more alleviation, less tension in that back. The second exercise that we're going over today has to do with our wrists. A lot of people overlook their wrists, especially photographers. This is a simple exercise that you can do while watching TV. While watching TV, watching your baby crawl on the floor, cooking dinner, you're in the middle of cooking a chicken and it's in the oven, doesn't matter. You're going to get down on the floor, take those hands, making sure that you're in line, just like we talked about. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drive my shoulders over my hands, just slightly, slowly driving. From there, you're going to start to feel that tension in those wrists. Holding it. You're going to do that for 20 seconds. Come back, rotate those wrists. Get them feeling nice and good. Then we're going to go inverted. Having my fingertips face towards my knees. And I'm going to do the opposite from here now. I'm going to drive my shoulders back. driving back, feeling that stretch in that opposite direction. If you don't have the range of motion, you can go more externally rotated, driving back. You're still going to feel that stretch. Really stretching out those wrists, holding that for 20 seconds. You're also going to do that 3 times each way. I hope that helps. So the second segment that we're going to talk about today are simple tools that you can use on your body to alleviate tension. So the first tool that I'm going to bring out is the foam roller. This can be bought anywhere. Target, Walmart, you can get it on Amazon pretty cheap. Basically what the foam roller does, it's a self-myofascial releasing tool. So basically what that means is we have fascia encasing all of our muscles and my whole entire body. When that fascia gets really tight, it doesn't allow that muscle to lengthen. So what I'm doing with that foam roller is I'm releasing that fascia, allowing that fascia to become more pliable. Let it move a little bit more. So what I'm going to do with this foam roller is I'm going to sit it down and we're going to target 2 areas today. We're going to target the neck and we're going to target the back. So I'm going to get in position here and I'm just going to lay my upper back down on that foam roller. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start driving up towards those upper traps, so my upper shoulders. And what I'm going to do from there is I'm just going to roll back and forth, feeling that tension, feeling any spots that hurt more than others. So if you feel a spot that hurts more than another spot, you're going to drive into that spot. So let's just say I have a hot spot in my left trap. I'm going to drive into that left trap and I'm going to hold it there. I'm going to feel it out, and what you'll feel is it'll start to release. You'll start feeling a numbing of the pain. The pain will start to subside. Feeling that, and I'm going to move on, holding that for about 20 seconds on each hot spot. That right there alone will start to alleviate the tension that you find in your neck. You might get headaches, or you might have tension in that jaw. Just by simply foam rolling that upper trap, you'll start to feel a lot looser shoulders and neck. The second area that we're going to target today is the back. So all we're simply going to be doing is rolling on our lower and mid and upper back. So I'm going to take that foam roller, I'm going to lay back just like I just did for that neck and upper traps, and I'm going to go back and forth. People call this the poor man's massage because it feels good. And you might feel some pops, some cracks, and that's okay. I'm going to drop my hips down to the ground, and then I'm going to start leaning back. Driving back, extending, taking my shoulders and opening them up. Trying to get into that extension. Really opening up my body. Going back and forth. Good. Coming back, you're going to come sit back up, relax for a second, and then we're going to go into our last foam rolling exercise. This also for the lower back. So when you start to get a lot of pain and tension in that lower back, a lot of the times it's not the lower back. Usually it's the glutes or my butt. So I'm going to sit directly on top of the foam roller just like I am right now. And I'm going to roll back and forth just slightly. And if you've got really tight glutes, you're going to feel that sensation, that pain almost right off the bat. Okay? If you want to start to search for a little bit deeper into that glute hip complex, I'm going to take my left knee, okay, put my left foot on top of my knee, just like I'm hanging out in that figure 4 position, and I'm going to lean into that left glute. And you'll start to feel that that spot or that pocket is a little bit more sensitive than most. Driving back and forth, really trying to find that spot. You're really searching here. If you feel any tension in that knee or any pain, sharp pain in that knee, immediately drop it and continue with both legs down, going back and forth. You're going to go to the other side, so I'm going to lean in the other side, and I'm going to take my right foot, bring it in that figure 4 position, and go into that other side, doing the exact same thing. You're going to do that for about a minute each side, depending on how bad or how tense you feel. So the last tool that we're going to talk about today is the tennis ball, or you can use a lacrosse ball. Tennis ball, super cheap. You can pick it up anywhere. So we're going to target 2 areas with the tennis ball. We're going to target the shoulder and we're going to target the feet. So we're going to first go into the shoulder. So I'm going to sit down on my yoga mat, and what I'm going to do with this tennis ball is I'm going to place it right underneath the scap. So if you're going to think about the scap, if you're going to think about if I'm sitting down here and I'm going to place my hand right behind my back and drive that shoulder back, you're going to see that scap pop out. That's the area that we want to get that in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this down here and I'm going to position myself where that tennis ball, whoa, is nice and dug in there. Good. So what I'm going to do from there is I'm going to rest my head, and I'm just going to sit here for a second, making sure that my rib cage doesn't drive up. Driving my rib cage down, making sure that I tuck my hips, making sure that there's no space underneath here. From here, I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to come straight up, taking my bicep to my ear, back, forward. And you're going to do that 10 times. Really making sure that you have controlled movements through that, driving those hips down, making sure that I'm not raising up, my rib cage isn't raising up. Good, driving down, back and forth 10 times. When you're done with that, what we're going to do is I'm going to take my elbow and I'm going to go straight out from my shoulder, getting into that 90-degree fixed position again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into internal and external rotations, driving up and back down. And you'll start to really find out how good your mobility in your shoulder is. Some of you, this may be very painful. Just work with it. Try to find those areas. If you stop right here, you can't go any farther, that's fine. Just keep going back and forth, and you're going to do that 10 times also. You're going to do that 2 times each side, 20 total reps each side. The second target area we're going to talk about today is the feet. So I'm going to drop that tennis ball right on the ground, and all I'm going to be doing is taking that tennis ball and driving my weight down into my feet, making sure that I have no shoes on. Really driving down in there, and it might feel really good. Making sure that you drive that weight into that arch. And from here, we're going to actually do self-myofascial release of the feet. An area that most people don't think of when foam rolling. All those hours that you have shooting for 4 hours, walking around, this will do wonders for your feet. And you're going to do this for about a minute each side, and you're going to go 2 times. So I hope you found this course informative today. I hope you can take one element and implement it into your life. One thing I also want to talk to you about are little tips that you can do while you're actually shooting. First thing that comes to mind are neck straps. Making sure that you limit the amount of time that that camera is hanging from your neck. Simply investing into a hand strap or an actual sling will do you wonders. The second thing is making sure that you treat your body like you're actually going into a workout. If you're going into a 4-hour shoot and you wake up an hour before, you don't eat breakfast, and you just drive in the car and you jump right into it, you're not doing yourself any favors. Making sure that you warm up properly, making sure that you get a good breakfast in the morning, using those movements that we talked about today to open up your body and get your body right for that shoot that's coming up. Also making sure that you cool down, making sure that you don't go from a 4-hour shoot into sitting for 4 hours and editing, using all those tools that we talked about to transition and bridge that gap. So, thanks again for watching. I hope you guys will follow along. You can follow us at the Founders Gym on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And then you can also visit our website at www.thefoundersgym.com. Hope to see you soon.